Hey guys, good morning. Welcome to Morning Musings. I'm glad everyone could join us today. I think my wife just let my dog in the room here. What are you doing, big dog? Huh? What are you doing, boy? Um, Things have been going really good around here. I've been doing a lot of work out in the wood shop, getting some stuff ready, some signs I had to put out for a few people, and I've been working on the new DIY box. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that here in a minute. I do want to mention a few things that are coming up. We got Tuesday's live stream. We're going to be announcing the Coturnix Kids Project winner. So we've got a group. Most of you guys know this already, but we've got a group, a panel of judges over on the Coturnix Corner website that select a winner each month for the Coturnix Kids Project. They've been doing a great job, and I really appreciate that. And you guys hear me okay? I've been feeling kind of not real good this morning. So, but anyhow, yeah, they do a wonderful job. Appreciate their help with that. We've got a few new entries. And for those of you who don't know what it is, it's a project that we do where the kids can come up with some type of a project that will benefit others. Whether it's helping out their parents, doing some work around the house, whatever, or the neighbors, or the community, whatever it is, we get a lot of really neat entries, and it's fun to read through them. But if you've got kids that are interested, might want to join that, go over to Coturnixcorner.com, and there's links up in the nav bar for it. There's a special space just for the kids where they can enter their projects and stuff. And yeah, read up on it there. And like I say, get your kids entered. They got really great prizes that our sponsors give out to the kids, from cages to hatching eggs, to feeders and waters, gift certificates, stuff like that. So, it's a good way to get the kids, interested and started with quail. Also teaching them a lesson about, helping others. So that's why we do that. As far as what I've got going on, I'm sure a lot of you know that I've been working on out in the shop on the new DIY Incubator project. We're making a kit available for those who want to build the incubator, but just either don't have the tools or don't have the skills to cut everything out, to make it fit. So we're cutting out the all the pieces. I'm cutting them out on my CNC machine, and we're making the kits available. They're actually going to go on GulfCoastQuail.com probably Monday. I won't start actually shipping till Wednesday or Thursday, but we'll probably put them on the website. We are taking pre-orders for them now. For those of you who are interested, if you want to get on the pre-order list, you can either email me or message me on Facebook or Coturnix Corner. Let me know that you want on the pre-order list, and that way when we put them on the website and they're available to order, regardless of when you place your order, you'll already be on that list, so you'll be right up at the top there, and you'll get one of the first batches. But I wanted to show you real quick what I'm able to do with the this was a practice piece that I ran through my my CNC machine. Like obviously the circles, that would be for, and I made this one really big, I don't know why, but for like the heat chamber plate, face plate. You can see here, this is just a regular channel groove, and this is like what I use on the sides where you put like the side rails in. We've got another little groove here on this thing, like a little dado cut that the next piece would slide into that. So basically what I tried to do when I laid it out on the software was to make it to where the parts would only fit together one way, so you can't mess it up when you put it together. And I wanted, like on the old box, you had to do some measuring to know where the shelves went, the rails for the shelves went. These are all already pre-made for you and in the box, so there's no measuring another. Basically, it's just run a bead of glue in there, slap the thing together, and you're done. So I'm going to be doing an assembly video on that probably tomorrow, just to show people how to. I mean, look, it's going to be so simple. It's not like the first build video where I had to do an hour-long video to show you how to build it. This one's just going to be take your parts, put part A to part B, glue it together, and you're ready to go. So, like I say, if you're interested in that or want to get on the list, go ahead and email me and let me know, and we'll put you on that list. There's one other thing that I stumbled across this morning. It was a quick write-up by Bree Patz over on the Facebook group page about misinformation when it comes to quail. And I thought that was really good because there is a lot of stuff out there, guys, that is just, it's some of the stuff is almost laughable. But I'm going to pull that up for you real quick just to show you what she's got. Let's see, I got to get on this computer. But basically it's right here. I don't know what the little graphic there is about where it says live quail canceled. I don't know what that's about, but it talks about what is information, how to spot it, how to avoid it, tips, what you want to look for. And she's even got some sources down here, like how to stop misinformation, how to spot fake news, the spread of misinformation online. So I read through it and I thought it's a really good write-up. And I want to thank Bree for actually posting that over in the Facebook group. And I have commented on her thread and asked her if she could post it over in the Coturnix Corner community website, because I think that's a really good article, especially for newbies, people that are just getting into quail. I've seen so many people burned by fake scammers or whatever. So hopefully this can help you guys. I do want to bring up real quick, just so you guys, I don't mean to be shoving this incubator stuff in your face, guys, but I just want to show you real quick some of the images. This is the prototype that I put together. We'll just go through the images. You can see how nicely cut out that front viewing window is. It also comes with the plexiglass that fits right in there. And as far as, like, you can see the rails on the side there, they slide right into grooves and get glued into that, so they're not going anywhere. There's no measuring involved. This is the back side of the incubator where the fans mount and the hot air chamber is. And then again, some of the different parts that here you can see the groove. This is one of the side pieces. You can see the grooves that your rails slide into. This short groove is for the heat chamber, the bottom of the heat chamber box. So anyhow, I just want to share that with you guys because I'm kind of proud of it. I wish I would have had a CNC machine back when I first started putting that DIY box together, because it would have been real nice. But then again, I wouldn't have had all the people that actually built that incubator from the plans. Obviously, not everybody's got a CNC machine, so they couldn't do that. So, okay, enough about that. Let's see. We got that done, that done. Let's go ahead and jump over into the chat room and see who all is joining us today and get your thoughts on things. If you guys got any questions, comments, go ahead. Feel free to post them. Doesn't necessarily need to be quail related. This is Sunday morning, laid back, and talk about whatever. So. And I'm on water now because I've already had a couple cups of coffee, so I had to switch over to water. Wrong computer here. Let me see. Fawn Taylor's in the house. Says good morning from Virginia. Miranda Barnes says good morning. Good morning, Miranda. Glad you could join us. I hate this that I'm seeing. Hold on. Let me just make sure that nothing is messed up. Okay, everything's good there. Let's see. Tony's in the house. Says own. Sorry. Oh, I see what he's saying. See, it's playing them different. I'm getting the comments on this computer, which is where the software is. I'm getting them in a different order than I'm seeing them over on the live stream, on the live chat readout. I don't understand why. And yes, I do have it selected as live chat up there. So I don't know. Dragon Girls in the house says, good morning, everyone. Good morning. Glad you could join us. There we go. Here's Anthony's other post. I was wrong. 9 fuzzballs. Okay, cool. And here's the first post. Boy, this is weird. Why is it backwards? Morning, all 8 new babies down here. Yep, more fuzzballs to run my life. I think it said ruin my life. Cool. Tony says, thank you. They own me for sure. Yep. Mary Howard's in the house. Glad you could join us, Mary. Good morning from North Olympic Peninsula of Washington State. Hope everyone is happy and healthy this morning. Got my coffee and I'm ready to roll. Cool. Glad you could join us. Mary says, congrats to Tony for the babies are wonderful. Vaughn Taylor says, good morning from Virginia. Now, her post was one of the first posts, and it's way down here on the list. I don't know why. I'm going to have to figure that out because that might be a glitch in the program that it's pulling the... Maybe if I go back to... I wonder if this will change anything. Go back to top chat. Nope, that didn't do nothing. Okay, well, we'll just keep on going. Robert's in the house says, oh, glad you could join us. Mary says, mine are now 5-week-old, and they are the noisiest we've had for a while. Large number of roos, and they are all sure they are the biggest, best, and most in the cage, and want the world to know about it. Yeah, I've had cages of roosters that just would not shut up. So, Chris in the house says, good morning all from Indiana. Glad you could join us, Chris. Mary says, hey, everybody, hit that like button. Yeah, hit the like button. I really don't care on the morning musings because I don't know how YouTube views these morning musings live as far as the channel goes. But yeah, everything helps. It's all algorithms with them, so anything helps. Mike Riley's in the house. Says, good morning from East Tennessee. Glad you could join us, Mike. Bob Cole's in the house. Says, good morning from western mountains of New Mexico. Up there in the clouds. Glad you could join us, Bob. Alex is in the house. Says, good morning from Pennsylvania. First time catching you live. Well, I'm glad you could join us. And we're live every Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then again on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that Tuesday is our regular Coturnix Corner live stream. This is just something we came up with, or I came up with to do in the mornings. Usually Sunday mornings I don't have a whole lot going on, so we kind of hang out here and see what everybody's doing on Sunday morning. Miranda Barnes says, my bats just had their first crow last night. Cool. My reflex thought was, oh crap, a roo out of the barn. Or got a roo out of the barn. Brooder baby grow is inside. Cool. Wendell's in the house. Says, hi, Mary. Did you wake up Andy and Don? Yeah, it's funny because usually they're sending me texts saying, Terry, don't forget the live stream. Glad you could join us, Wendell. Miranda says, I think they hit 5 weeks on Thursday. Cool. Don Skins in the house says, hello from South Mississippi. Glad you could join us, Don. Mary says, no, I didn't this morning. I think Dawn is up, but she sometimes doesn't finish chores yet. I don't know about Andy. Anna is away from home at an out-of-town wedding. Okay. Boy, Mary, you know a lot about the group members, don't you? Cool. Tracy says, good morning, everyone from rainy Pennsylvania. All right, Mark's in the house. The La Rochelle Farm says, good morning, y'all. Glad you could join us, Mark. Chris says, good morning. Mary, talking to Wendell, says, good morning, Wendell. Hope you have a great day. Both. I may have missed it. How much are you asking for the incubator cutouts? The incubator itself, well, we've got it set right now, $135 for the bare bones kit plus shipping. But that's going to include the light bulb sockets if they're available. I've got to run up to Home Depot and make sure that I can source them from a reliable source. Either that or get them off of Amazon or something. And also, it's going to definitely include the front plexiglass window cut to size to fit the door that we're cutting out for it. So, yeah, $135 plus shipping. Delvin says, good morning from St. Thomas. I love this channel. Glad you could join us, Delvin. Lucky you being down in St. Thomas. Chris says, I have a group of eggs that I put in lockdown at 14 days. Do you think this will affect my hatching, or do you think they'll be okay? No, 14 days. That's when you do put them into lockdown. I've actually, like, if I've had stuff to do the next day and wasn't going to be around on day 14, I've actually gone into lockdown on day 12 and day 13 before. Never affected the hatch. So, Mark says, I have a question. Why is it raining here? I got a feeling there's a front that has moved into your area containing some clouds or rain, whatever, and that's why it's falling out of the sky and on you. Either that, or you've got a big job that you were supposed to go do, but you can't do it because your machines get stuck in the rain, in the mud. So I don't know, Mark. Couldn't tell you. Clifton says, good morning, everyone from South Mississippi. Mr. Terry, I watched your prototype video yesterday. I was wondering how to plug in the egg turners, or will that be in your build video tomorrow? The egg turners, what we're doing, and I haven't done it on the prototype, but I did think about it because somebody else also asked me about that. The egg turners, the ones that I use for it, which are the little giant egg turners, they're all corded egg turners, obviously. So I'm going to make a little groove, a little cutout at the bottom of the door that both them cords can run out of, and you can still be able to close the door all the way. Yeah, that was a good point that they brought up, and we are going to address that. Some people run just one cord into the box, and they've got an outlet inside the box. I don't really care for that idea. I would rather have them plugged in outside the box than inside, but to each his own. Maury's in the house. Says, good morning from Michigan. Glad you could join us, Maury. Miranda says, the chat may be set to the top comments instead of newest comments. Yeah, well, there is no setting on the software. I've either got favorites or all comments, and it's set on all comments. And then over here, I've got it set on live chat versus top chat. So, yeah, it's on live chat. I don't know. I'm not going to worry too much about it. It may be an issue with the software, just maybe a glitch of the way the software is pulling it in from the stream itself. Let's see. Rochelle Farm says, Terry, I like the idea of running the foam on a CNC, but you must be creating tons of foam scraps, cutting the rabbits. Actually, well, I've got a vacuum system, that vacuums up all the stuff, and there's really not a ton. I mean, it's a 5-gallon vacuum, and I've cut out 3 boxes so far, and it's not even a quarter of the way full yet. So, yeah, the only problem is when I forget to turn the box on, it's like the static charge from the router bit going through that foam. I can tell right when I forget to turn it on, because all those bits go and attach themselves to the router itself. So, yeah, it's crazy. I've actually produced a lot more sawdust doing signs and stuff. Oh, speaking of signs, guys, if you want a sign for your business, we do them too. You can get your farm name, whatever you want on there, the year that it was established, the state that you're from, if that's what you want. We've done one where we've actually put established at top and then put the address numbers on the bottom for people. If you check out GulfCoastQuail.com, I got some sample signs I posted over there. So, check them out if you're interested. Chris says the CNC would be fun, be a lot of fun. I have a 3D printer that is keeping me busy. I actually looked into getting a 3D printer, and the one that I wanted was pretty pricey. I I can't remember the make on it, but it comes from, oh, I can't remember. It's made in a different country. It's supposed to be top of the line as far as desktop um, 3D printers go. And I thought, you know what? I don't know how much use I would actually get out of the 3D printer. And I've always done woodwork. And before I got into Quail, my shop was a Quail room. I mean, a wood shop. So I thought, a CNC would be a lot more usable for me as far as, because I like building furniture and stuff. So CNC machine works great for that. I'll take an Tony says, I'll take an incubator kit. Time to upgrade from my, oh yes, definitely upgrade from your 360. The nurture rate. All right, Tony, I'll put you on the pre-list. And then I'll shoot you a link when they're available on the website, and then you'll be at the top of the list regardless of how many orders we get. And you're close enough if you need any help, which you shouldn't, because I'm boasting that a child could put this thing together. I mean, that's how simple it is. It's so easy. You could just put a little glue on there and slap the part together. This one doesn't have to be screwed together like I did on the original in the video for the DIY box. The glue, having all the dado cuts and the rabbit cuts, you can just put a bead of glue in there, press it, hold it together for a minute, and you're done. So, yeah, doesn't need very much when it comes to tools. Samantha Stratton's in the house. Says, good morning. Boyfriend got a deer last night. Cool. Congratulations. So after this morning's musings, we're going to piece it out and pressure can it for shelf-stable stews. Nice. Busy day ahead after coffee. I hear you. That's one thing I haven't done in a long time. I mean, I left Michigan 40 plus years ago. That was the last time I've deer hunt. I mean, yeah, they got deer here in Florida, but you got to go sit out in the mosquitoes, and not interested in doing that. So I went from deer hunting to doing a lot of fishing down here. Mary says, Terry, I'll be shutting them down next weekend. I do have a couple of hens, but not near as many as the roos. Well, you get to fill up your freezer anyhow. So that's nice. Fred says, what's the cost of the incubator kit? As it stands right now, $135 plus shipping for the bare bones kit. And we're talking about it. I don't know if I'm going to do it yet. Some people want a full kit, which is going to include the fans, the regulator, basically everything you need to have a working incubator, less the egg turners. And the reason for that is, yes, I can order the egg turners that fit the box, but some people don't use the egg turners that I recommend for the box. They want to use their own, so we don't include those. Practical Junk says, good morning from good old Tennessee. Glad you could join us. Mark says, taking the monster cage out of the barn tomorrow. I really wish someone could use it. That's a lot of work just to not use it. Can't you maybe post it on Craigslist or something, Mark? Because I've seen the cage, and it is beautiful. I mean, he did took a lot of time, did a lot of nice work. But I would think that somebody, whether they're just getting into quail or they could probably do, grow outs for chickens or whatever in it. Yeah, that would be a nice setup. Believe me, if I were in your neck of the woods, I wouldn't mind having it myself. Maury says, good morning, big brother. Good morning, Maury. Maury says, most 3D printers, you can buy another head for CNC work. Cool. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know much about CNCs, or I know my CNC actually has a mount on it where I can put a laser head on there. But I already have 2 lasers, so I don't need another one. But yeah, I don't think I would get much room out of a 3D printer unless I was to need to, print up a specific part for something I was working on. So that's why I kind of talked myself out of that. Bob says, if I only plan on incubating eggs once a year in May, does it make sense to keep 2 to 3 roosters all year, or just purchase fertilized eggs once a year? I only keep 10 to 15 quail in my outside hutch. Yeah, I would keep just hens. If you're only going to hatch out once a year, and you don't mind getting eggs shipped into you, I would, or if you find somebody local that's selling fertilized eggs, that's the route I would take. There's no real reason to keep roosters around. You're just feeding something that's not really benefiting you. So, yeah, I would stick with just the hens and buy your eggs, or pick them up locally, from somebody. Mark says, "Do you do any fly fishing, Terry?" No, it's not really. I mean, I've done some. I thought about it when I was up in Michigan. I was looking at getting into it because of all the trout fishing up there. But down here, pretty much everything that I fish for, you need a heavy duty setup. Although I do know a guy, he's a boat captain, and that's what he specializes in is fly fishing for like sea trout and sheep's head and redfish and whatnot. So yeah, I guess it would be doable. I just never really got into it. So that looks like that brings us down to the bottom of the list. I really don't have a whole lot to talk about this morning other than my incubator, and I don't want to, drive you guys nuts with that. I am really looking forward to seeing some people putting the kits together and see how well they've done. I will, Tony. As soon as we're out of here, I will shoot you a message. Mary says, talk to Bob, say they are too tasty to keep for that long. Just eat them. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking. I really got to start thinking about my outside setup, because I need to start getting, at least start hatching by, end of January at the latest. So that means I've got to get, some outside cages set up, figure out where I'm going to put them. My plan is to do a compost bin underneath each cage. So as the manure drops, I just turn it, every once in a while. And then on the aviary, I guess for now, my aviary is going to be a grow out for my 6 Rhode Island Red chickens that we have out there. One of the moderators on the Coturnix Corner live streams he was just starting to ship live birds, and he wanted to send me a test shipment to make sure that they made it okay. Hey, Andy Rabbit just popped in. Glad you could join us, Andy. Good morning to you. So yeah, for now, until I can get an actual chicken coop built, I'm going to put the chickens out there in the aviary, and at least grow them out there, and they're going to get run of the yard anyhow. Once they're a little bit older and they can defend themselves, I'm going to actually let them, free range around the yard. So that'll be cool. Really looking forward to them Rhode Island Reds start laying. It's been a while since I've had chicken eggs. My wife likes chicken eggs, but I was a quail egg eater, and if it wasn't for Tony, here in the group, I wouldn't have had any eating eggs. He was kind enough to bring me out a bag full of quail eggs, which was really nice. So appreciate that. But yeah, so many plans, so much stuff that I've got to get done. Andy Rabbit's in the house, says good morning. Glad you could join us, Andy. Mary says hi, Andy. Rabbit, Wendell was wondering about you. We all were wondering about you. Chris says, do quail do better to have larger cages with more quail or smaller cages with less quail? I've done both and had luck both ways. The one thing that I've found, and I've heard it from a lot of commercial breeders, is make sure that especially in a confined area like a cage, that you don't give them too much room, because they become territorial, and that's when you start having issues with aggression. Seems like the numbers are like 3 birds per square foot. I was actually, because I was doing jumbos, was only doing 2 birds per square foot, and that seemed to do pretty good. I know Mark was doing the same thing. Mark, what were your numbers in those big cages? I know you had quite a few birds in there. What kind of numbers were you doing, like per square foot? But as far as, larger cages are going to work fine as long as you have the numbers, and smaller cages will work fine as long as your hen to roo ratio is right. Like in my hatching time cages in a single unit, I was doing a 1 to 3, and it worked just fine. Never had no issues with it. So, Mark says, Terry, I've been off and on watching. What did you do? Kick all the quail out due to health? Yeah, I guess after a little over 6 years of keeping birds indoors in my quail room, so much dust and dander was building up. It was like every time I walked out there, I could feel it in my chest. I was starting to get this constant cough and hack that wouldn't go away. And plus, my wife's got COPD, and I'm like, if it's affecting me and I don't have any lung issues, it can't be good for her. So the idea we decided to was just get rid of all the quail, thoroughly gut the shop. And I mean, by gutted, I pulled all the drywall off. I pulled all the drywall out. We cleaned everything up. You would not believe the amount of dander that I have no idea how it got behind the walls, but it did. Dust and dander got back in there. When I pulled the walls down, it was like, thank God I had a mask on or I'd have really been messed up. But I went through, cleaned everything out, re-insulated the walls, put brand new drywall up, hard coated it, and so now my shop is safe for me to walk into again. But the plan is, obviously I can't keep the numbers that I was in the shop, but my plan is just keep a small number of quail out back in some cages, probably very similar to what Chris over at Slightly Redneck is using, and basically just have quail to supply meat and eggs for me and my wife, and also to still be able to have video content for the channel here. So that's the game plan, and that's why I've reduced my numbers on quail. TM says, good morning, Andy Rabbit. Clifton says, Mr. Terry, can you put me on the list for an incubator? Also, it will come with a list of parts. Yes. Actually, when I do the assembly video, which I'm not going to do it today. I'll probably do it first thing Monday morning and get it posted by Monday evening. It's going to have all the parts that you're getting and all the parts that you will need to purchase to have a fully working incubator, like your egg turners, your regulators, and I'll have links to all that stuff over to my Amazon store, and you can, if you want, you can get them through there. But yeah, we will. And as far as Clifton, if you can, email me, Terry@CoturnixCorner.com, and just request that you want to be on the pre-order list. And that way I can email you back as soon as the website is up and running. And you can just go right to the website, order it. And because you're on that list, regardless of how many orders are ahead of you or how many orders were put in before you, you will still move to the top of the list just because you're on the pre-list. Mark says, I was running 2 to 4 birds per square foot. So there you go. That seems to be the consensus that most people have found, commercial breeders have found that those numbers keep the aggression issues down and also benefit you because, you can produce more eggs per square foot of birds, basically. So TM says, I've been watching your quail egg peeler video. That thing is fascinating. Yeah, it is. Actually, there's 2 videos. The first one I didn't give it very good reviews because it didn't work for me for some reason. And then I had the manufacturer reach out to me and said, let me send you another one and also send you a printed instruction manual on how to use the thing properly. Believe it or not, once she did that and I tested it out, and I'm like, oh my God, I feel like an idiot because I was doing it totally wrong in the first video. So yeah. Yeah, Mark says, with a lot of room, they were able to run away from someone bugging them. Yep. Yeah, and that's another thing too, is when you got birds a little bit tighter packed like that, like Mark says, if somebody starts picking on them, they can, kind of beeline it into the crowd and the one that was chasing him or the one that was picking on him doesn't know who he is or can't find him. So, yep, good call. Bob says, I do 2 birds per square foot. Birds are happy. There you go. And you think about it, 2 jumbos in its square foot. I mean, a square foot is less than this. You know, if you look at something like that, you got 2 big birds sitting there. It seems, when you look at it, it seems like, wow, that's tight, you know. But, you know, there's people who are doing 3 and 4 per square foot. So, Chris has put me down for an incubator. And who do you recommend for jumbo hatching eggs? Okay, Chris, same thing. If you don't mind, email me, Terry@CoturnixCorner.com, and just, you know, request to be put on the pre-list. And that way I can, obviously, like I just said, contact you when the website's ready to take the orders. And who do I recommend for jumbo hatching eggs? Normally, I would say get a hold of Southwest Game Birds. Michael Rose has one of the JMF lines. He's an official JMF seller or referral farm, and but Michael is no longer shipping hatching eggs. I think there were a limited few people that got in last minute to get some eggs from him, and I don't know. You'd have to check his website, southwestgamebirds.com, and see if he's still offering hatching eggs. But he was on the live stream. Michael is no longer going to be offering hatching eggs to the public. He's cutting his numbers way back from, like, you know, almost 15,000 birds back to about 1,000 birds, and he's just going to sell live birds. So, yeah, I was kind of sad to hear that, because, I mean, Michael to me was one of the top breeders in the U.S. But, you know, I mean, he's got to make his choices. You know, he's got family to think about and himself. And so anyhow, but Michael has given Rebecca Lynch from Thieving Otter Farm, basically she took over all his lines. So she's got his bloodlines, and you can get a hold of her, and she can hook you up with, you just said jumbo. So she's got all the different color varieties, and I know a lot of them are jumbos. So you can contact her if you just want pharaohs. She does have the original JMF line, but she can't use the name JMF because she didn't go to Robbie's course. So, but she does have them. Andy Rabbit says, how much do you still use your egg peeler? Lately, not at all. Just because I don't have no eggs. But when I was, you know, collecting eggs from all my birds, I had like 300 layers. I was using it all the time. I'm using it for making pickled eggs. I would use it for making, you know, peeling hard-boiled eggs. So yeah, I used it quite a bit. But like I say, I'm kind of in slack as far as eggs. Good point, Andy. There is Kansas City Quail Farm. Now, I know, too, that, and I don't know how much Naomi is shipping. The last time I talked to her, she told me that she was going to cut way back on shipping and only serve local customers. But I know of a few people that have contacted her and were able to get eggs shipped out to them from her. So, yeah, that's another good one, Kansas City Quail Farm. They are also a JMF referral breeder. So if that's the line that you're looking for, you can go through Naomi and see if she'll ship to you. Bob Cole says, Thieving Otter Farm for quail eggs. Yeah, I just mentioned her. Yeah, Rebecca's got, like I say, the entire, well, not the entire, but the bulk of Michael Rose's Southwest Game Birds line. So if there was something in particular that you wanted, you know, from Michael, and you can't get it now because he's not shipping, get a hold of Rebecca. And I'm pretty sure that that's what Michael is telling everybody, you know, to contact Rebecca for hatching eggs. Practical Junk says, have you ever broken down the average amount of feed, then cost of feed one bird eats a day, than average amount of food and cost for a breeding set for a month. I actually did it at one time, and I was going to do a video on it, but I don't know how accurate it was. That's why I didn't do the video. But it was, so many ounces, or actually it was in grams, I believe. They eat so many grams per day, and it worked out to one bird. I don't even want to give you the numbers because I know I can't remember it right. But one bird in a year, they weren't eating that much. I want to say it was like less than 50 pounds in a year for one bird. I can't remember. I actually worked it out for my neighbor because he was trying to figure out, his granddaughter wanted to sell hatching eggs, or not hatching eggs, but eating eggs to the members of their church. And we were trying to do the math, trying to figure, okay, if we got 15 birds and they ate this much, how much could she sell the eggs for and make any money? But when you look at it like that, about, what they say the numbers are, it looks like it's very possible to make a lot of money selling eating eggs and hatching eggs. But God, it's a tough business. And it seems to me them birds eat a lot more than they say they do. Okay, where are we at? Andy Rabbit says, I just hatched out from her. Okay, so you did get eggs from Naomi. Yeah, that'd be a good one. Contact her, check on her website, see if she's still shipping eggs. Tony says, how many SF is in one hatching time pen? Well, it's 36 by 18. So what does that work out to? 18 square feet or something like that? I figured it out at one time. Hold on, now you got me wondering. Calculator, 36 times 18 divided by 12. Oh, no, that's not right. Divided by 144. Just under 2.25 square foot. So I don't, that doesn't sound right. I thought in one of my videos I said it was closer to 3 square foot. Maybe I did the math wrong. Math was never my strong suit. I was doing 1 to 3, 1 hen, 3 roosters, one rooster, 3 hens per unit. So it was giving me about 9 hens and 3 roosters. But when I took the dividers out, I was doing 15 birds with no dividers in the cage. So look at it that way. Mark says, what the heck? I didn't know Southwest Game Birds wasn't doing hatching eggs anymore. Yeah, he made the choice, Mark, to cut way back on the quail. I guess he was having some issues with help. He had a lot of birds. I think he told me 14,000 at one time. And, you got to have help. One person can't take care of that many birds. So, he's got a family. And to devote all of his time to just keeping things rolling, he was having a hard time keeping up with packaging. I guess he had some issues with, stealing. People were stealing from him and whatnot. So anyhow, he decided, that it just wasn't worth the headache and wanted to get back to a more manageable size and go back to selling just live birds. I guess that's where he started out, was just selling live birds. And then when COVID hit and we had the big lockdown, they were having issues. People weren't coming to the farm to pick up. And so he started shipping hatching eggs, and that carried him over, for the past 3 years or so. So yeah, that's his game plan. As far as I know, there was some. Well, I'm not even going to mention that. I'll let Michael tell you about that. So, but yeah, if you go to his website, he may still have some available. Because it seems to me, I thought he said December 15th was the last day he was going to ship. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but yeah. Rochelle Farm says, I do understand. I was at 500 birds, give or take, and that was tremendous amount of work. Absolutely. Yeah, even with mine, I only had, that was my goal, was to hit 500 breeders out in my little shop there. And, I even knocked down one wall and redid the whole front half of the shop to be able to expand. And then that's when I started feeling everything. I'm like, no, this isn't worth it. But even at 300 birds, boy, that was a lot of work. I had to go out there and clean every day or every other day. It just, too much work. Andy says, when the hubby asked what I wanted for Christmas, I told him an egg peeler. Yeah, you'll definitely, if you peel a lot of quail eggs, they're definitely worth it. Once you get the hang of it. The only issue that I ever had with mine was when you store it, make sure you wash those rubber rails really good and leave the machine running until those rubber rails dry out completely. Because if you don't, if you shut it off and that rubber is wet on those rails, they get stuck together and it's really hard to get them apart. I did that a couple times, and I finally figured out that if I just left it running until it dried, then the next time I went and turned it on, they started right up. So, but as far as that goes, to me, it's well worth it. Dragon Girl says, talk to Anthony. A full single layer hatching time is about 1.5 times 3 square feet, so 4 to 4.5 square feet. There you go. Yeah, that makes sense. See, I told you I can't do math. Michelle Farm said, I had a buyer for 20,000 value eggs a week, but to make it profitable was difficult. Yep. Oh, yes. I remember the old balut egg. What was the what was the key word for that one? What are you doing down there, huh? I remember your little secret word for balut. I forgot what it was. But Practical Junk said, I just did over a week and was astounded at the results. Thank you. I was curious what your results were. I broke it down to only 43.5 pounds a year per bird, not even a bag of feed. Yeah, and if you look at it that way, if that's the actual numbers that you're getting, a bag of feed, layer feed is, for me, under $20. And if a hen is producing, just say on average, 250 eggs a year or 300 eggs a year, even if you sold them at 50 cents an egg, you're still ahead of the game. So, all right. None of that you get. Come on, girl. Let's see. And he says, I get a hold of Kansas City Quail Farm through Facebook Messenger. There you go. Yeah, I don't see Naomi much on Facebook anymore either. She used to check into Coturnix Corner all the time over there, but every once in a while I'll see her pop in and give a like on something. Louis says, Southwest Gamers, no more eggs out of stock, only live birds. Yep, there they go. They're already done with their shipping hatching eggs. So DM says, it looks like it to me. The electric egg peeler is a lot better. I definitely would get the electric, unless you're only doing a handful of eggs at a time. The electric makes it so fast. I could do, I don't know, 100 eggs in 15 minutes, and that's how fast it would go. LOL Terry, I don't peel as many as I would like. Takes so long. Thanks for the tip. Yep. Absolutely. It's so much easier. I was tearing up eggs trying to peel them by hand. So, yeah, getting that peeler was nice. Talking to Rochelle Farm says, holy cow, that's a lot of balut. Absolutely. David says, where do I get a quail egg peeler? Go on Amazon, search for electric quail egg peeler, and it'll pop right up. As a matter of fact, if you go to any of my videos here on the channel, in the description, there's a link to my Amazon store, and I have the one in my Amazon store that I actually used. So, all right. Well, that brings us down to the bottom of the list, and we are almost 10 o'clock. So that's about pretty close to the time where we cut it off. Let's see. Louise jumped in there. Says, have you tried a Lilytech controller? Has humidity and temp? I have not. I've had so much luck with the Inkbirds That's the only one that I've ever used, and the only one that I recommend. Um, that's not saying there aren't better ones out there. Even the Inkbird, they've got several different models. I was using, I don't remember what the model number on it was. Oh darn, I don't have one in here either. But like I say, it's always worked great for me. So I always don't fix it if it ain't broken. One of them kind of guys. So, but no, if you do try one and it works out decent, let us know. Share your results over on the Facebook group or Coturnix Corner group, and let others know. And that's another thing with this DIY box, the incubator. Um, yeah, I'm going to say that this is the regulator that I use, but you can pretty much make any regulator work. Um, you know, Whichever one you prefer, give it a shot, see how it does. Andy says, if memory serves me right, if a bag costs $20, I don't know what that means, Andy. 5 cents, and a jumbo costs 10 cents an egg to produce. Yeah, that's. If you're selling eggs for say eating eggs at 50 cents a piece or whatever, that you're making a profit. Even hatching eggs. Hatching eggs this year, for some reason, they jumped way up. I remember I was getting them for like 33 cents a piece, and this year hatching eggs, this past year, were like $1 a piece. So you can't blame the breeder, for wanting to raise their prices, because feed prices have gone up. You got all that time and effort into working the birds. So Bob says, tap the thumbs up, folks. Yeah, you could do that. Andy said, I found a few egg peelers last night on Amazon with 20% off, takes it down to $63. That's a good deal. I think my first one was listed at $99. I didn't pay for either of them. They wanted a review. So, but the second one, I don't remember what the price was. It seems to me it was close to $100. And yeah, she sent. I actually got rid of the first one because I figured, okay, these things are no good. They don't work. It was just user error. Mary says, hope you all have a good day. Absolutely, Mary. You too. TM says, when I first heard about the egg peeler, I thought it was a joke. Oh, well, yeah. Standard. Thanks, Andy. Whatever auto-corrected said. Standard over Strander. Over $20 a standard egg cost. There you go. Duh. Sometimes I can figure it out. Other times I'm just as lost as the autocorrect. Rochelle Farm talking. Dragon Girls is checking. The balut took hours upon hours. Yep, that wasn't a task I could let someone else do, and it was just too much for me. Yeah, you remember back when you were talking to me about it, Mark. So I don't know how you keep up with that. And didn't you go out and buy a bunch of GQF incubators just for that? So yeah, pricey to get into, and the market down here for balut is pretty good. But like you said, I wouldn't. One of the main reasons I wasn't really doing a lot of balut eggs was I was worried about selling somebody an egg that went bad that I overlooked or something, and then they, decide to eat a bad egg, and I'm like, ugh. Okay. Andy Rabbit says, I've seen your videos on the egg peeler. Okay, cool. All right, guys, it's almost 10 o'clock. I am going to go ahead and pull the plug on this one. Thank you guys for joining me today. It was enjoyable as always. Don't forget to join us Tuesday for the regular Coturnix Corner live stream. We will be announcing the winner of the Coturnix Kids Project on that live stream. Got a few other announcements that I'm going to be making. And, I talked to, I can't remember who it was, but I'm pretty sure it was in this group. Somebody wanted to get Rebecca Lynch on here to talk about Celadon breeding, Celadons. And I talked to her and she agreed. So she is going to let me know when she's ready, and we're going to actually be doing a live stream with her and talking about keeping and breeding celadons. So that should be good. Let me just real quick. Mark says, "Yep, I have 2 GQF sitting in the basement. If anyone needs one, reach out." Absolutely, GQF, excellent incubators. And then have a good day. Dragon Girl says, "Have a good day, everyone. Have a good day. Have a good one, Terry. Take care." You too, Mark. Appreciate it. Everyone, enjoy what's left of your weekend, and we'll see you guys on Tuesday. Thanks for joining me today.